back, everyone. J-Bone here. Man. So, the hot topic of the day is the fact that Brock Lesnar is returning to UFC 200 in July. And in light of all this, he's also been announced to return to the WWE for SummerSlam in August. So those two dates are about a month and a half apart, give or take a couple days. I have not, if you follow me, you know I'm not a big Brock Lesnar fan as of late. Certainly compared to what he used to do years ago. Because right now all he does is Suplex City, and that's just stupid. His WrestleMania match, worst one on the card. I would like to see him go back to what he actually, would, include his amateur wrestling style, and actually be the professional wrestling badass he used to be. But now he's just a joke. And the fact that he's going back to UFC for a match, and I certainly don't wish him any ill, okay? Just put that on the table right now. I don't wish him to get hurt. But if he's going back to UFC and guys are hungry for a match with him, whoever gets a hold of him, who has been consistently training since whenever, is certainly going to have a distinct advantage over him. Lesnar has not stepped in an octagon in about 5 years now. So the fact that he's going to be one of the main players in SummerSlam, one of the bigger stars, bigger names in WWE SummerSlam, and a month and a half before that is going to have a UFC fight, in my opinion, is pretty dumb. His chances, there's not going to be a lot of gray that happens here. He's either going to have a distinctly difficult match in the UFC, someone's going to kick his ass, which is going to render him in bad shape for WWE. Yeah, granted, he's going to have a month and a half to rest up, but depending on how bad he gets hurt, it could significantly wreck his in-ring professional wrestling career for a while. Now, granted, he has gotten healthier over the last few years, coming back from diverticulitis. For example, when he first came back to the WWE, fresh out of UFC, he didn't look like he was in that great a shape. Now over the last few years, looks like he's gotten in better shape. He's lost his gut, and he looks more muscular. He looks healthier. And, he's one guy that you don't hear a lot about in the news as far as his health. That's been kept pretty private, pretty quiet, we assume he's healthy, as far as all of his past illnesses and all that goes. I have no clue how much diverticulitis affects you throughout the rest of your life once you have it. If that's something that he's at risk of getting back, I don't know. Excuse me. So yeah, and there are some other rumblings going on related to this. What is Vince gonna get in return for this deal? I think there's a lot of speculation that could lead to, they wanted to do something with Ronda Rousey over the course of the last couple of years, and it never happened. Well, it happened, but since the whole WrestleMania thing 2 years ago, nothing's happened. So, but nothing with Ronda Rousey is going to happen anytime soon, because now I just read, courtesy of Chris Jericho sharing it on Facebook, she just had knee surgery. So apparently she's back to training, and the knee surgery itself wasn't that bad, but it's still surgery, it's and when she got clobbered back in December, she really got clobbered good. She was messed up physically and emotionally. So, does that mean that this is part of the deal that we may actually finally see her in the WWE? I don't know. I'm sure there is some quiet deal going on. Does it have to do with the UFC needs bigger names because the whole thing with CM Punk is kind of, I shouldn't say fallen through, but it's going slower than expected, I think, because a lot of people wanted to see Punk back for UFC 200, or back, I shouldn't say back, he hasn't had a match yet, and so yeah, it was estimated that he was gonna be there, and now he's not. And so they need all the big names they can get. The one thing I have not heard yet, which I'm surprised, someone hasn't put the little whisperings out there, is that, the whole thing with Punk fell through, so Vince wants him back in the WWE, put a crap ton of money on the table, and said, we want Punk back. Here, you can have Lesnar for a fight. I'm surprised that hasn't come out yet. And no, don't go spreading that around just because I said that. That's just a wild fantasy thing. It's just, no, I don't think that's actually going to happen. But, just the fact that we're seeing this with Lesnar going back to the UFC for a one-off is, I think it's shocking, honestly. But it just shows, how, money and deals can be quietly exchanged and, discussed and, So yeah, I am shocked. I was shocked last night when this came out. Before it was announced, within an hour of it being announced, there was, they're in talks. When I read that, I was like, that is some dirt sheet bullshit. I was like, wow, somebody is really reaching. And then when it came out with it was official, I was like, oh my God, that's... So yeah, this is either... It's, like I said, there's not a lot of gray here. It's either going to end up really bad for Brock, with him getting hurt, which I don't wish it, I'm just saying, there's a potential for that, depending on who it is and how hungry they are. And, or depending on who it is, Brock will come back and it'll be considered like a fluff fight, where Brock dominates in a couple seconds, and you know how The Rock came back this past WrestleMania, had a 3-second match, didn't really hurt himself or anything, he didn't even break a sweat. something like that'll happen, and which will completely. The WWE could use that as in, oh, look, he's still a beast. He's the most dominant thing. They could use that to promote how much of a beast Brock is. But on the flip side of that, it'll make UFC look like dog shit. Completely. They'll be like, oh, they planned him to come back, have this fluff fight, and it'll completely embarrass the hell out of UFC, saying, oh, I guess UFC, because everyone considered UFC to be real and WWE to be fake. Well, this will prove that UFC is fake. Okay? So, and if that does happen, it'll destroy UFC. It'll completely it'll wreck them. It'll destroy their fan base. It'll put them under. Guarantee it. The fact that they would make a deal like that and have a fluff fight for Brock Lesnar just to benefit UFC and to benefit the WWE. So we'll have to see how this develops over the course of the next few months to see what the WWE is actually going to get in return for this. I hope it was a comfortable sum of money for Vince, and maybe something else in the future. So, what are your thoughts? Put it in the comments below. I want to hear what you think. I'll be talking about this more with the guys later this week on destroying kayfabe, and can't wait. Well, I already know a few opinions, but I can't wait to hear the others. So, thanks for watching.